Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to this edition of 15 Minutes With. My name is Joe Tommaso. Thank you for being here today and listening to our podcast. That's ours as in my podcast and your podcast. Remember, this show would be nothing without you. Anything interesting going on? How's everybody doing today? Hoping you guys are all doing well. As you know, 15 Minutes With goes into jails and prisons across the country in an effort to keep people from winding up in jail or prison. We do this by interviewing guys and ladies currently serving time. That's the best way we can find out about them and the crimes that put them on the inside, as well as life behind prison walls. If you like this podcast, please click the subscribe button. If you want to hear new content as it drops, please click the notification button as well. If you'd like to help keep this show going and would like to see it get better, you can donate to paypal.me/Joe Tommaso. That's paypal.me/JOE Tomaso. If you have any comments or you'd like to see us interview a specific person, you can email us at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. That's insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Or you can snail mail us at P.O. Box 162, West Haven, Connecticut 06516. Again, that P.O. Box is P.O. Box 162, West Haven, Connecticut 06516. This next interview is with Darrick Hernandez. Darrick is currently serving 26 years to life in the California Department of Correction for first-degree murder. He committed this crime at age 14, and at age 15, he was sentenced to begin his sentence at an adult facility. Darrick's now 29 years old and has basically grown up in prison. This interview was pretty interesting. So without further ado, let's start this episode of 15 Minutes With.
Dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey, Darrick.
Hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Before we get into me asking you questions, is there anything that you wanted to talk about specifically tonight, or?
You know, I don't know. I'll just consider this like an open table discussion. I don't really have anything in specific. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to talk about prison experience and to talk about, I guess, the past as well. But I guess if anything, kind of like, you know, how things are going, like recently, and maybe, you know, plans for the future, maybe that kind of theme.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Okay. So my questions to you then would be, you know, you're doing a lot better now than when you were, you know, when you first came in, obviously. What are your plans, you know, while you're in there, and what are your plans for the future?
Well, you know, I'm in a, you know, it's not one set thing. It's kind of, I have many different interests. I found out, you know, by being in here. I've taken to reading a lot, which is something that I guess some people do out of necessity, but for me, I guess it's kind of like a pastime. But I don't read just like any old thing. I'm kind of finicky.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like I like classics, classical literature, classical poetry, and I've even taken to writing some of my own stuff. I'm in the process of getting published right now as we speak. I got a friend from Kansas City who, she's a writer. She's a published writer. She's, you know, been writing poems, and she's writing books for years.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up, you know, giving me a few pointers into how to market my own stuff. So, you know, at the moment, that's just something I'm able to do while I'm in here. But you know, when I get out there, I mean, I really don't have one set thing I want to do. Like, I know I want to be involved in nonprofit work. I mean, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be involved in something like, you know, curbing the youth from coming in here, or, you know, feeding the homeless. Especially, like, you know, when you have Thanksgiving or Christmas, you see all this type of, like, you know, giving, like, you know, just a bunch of senseless giving, just selfless giving. And, I mean, I want to be a part of that. There was a time, even when I was a really small kid, I had wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of like my goal, is to make amends and, you know.
So you basically want to get out there and you want to, like, give back to the community.
Yes, precisely. You know,
exactly. So
exactly what I
That's actually a really good thing. You came to that decision on your own, so this isn't something that became, like you're saying, a necessity. This is something that you came to. I know that back in the day when I myself got in trouble, there came a point when I was like, you know what? I'm not living like this anymore. I want to...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I don't want to, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to go out there and I want to do something different. I want to, give to people instead of, I don't want to say take, but like help people instead of hurt them. And you guys, I don't know about your specific institution, but I know California does a lot of stuff with fire department and stuff like that, where they actually help. I mean, what kind of training programs do they have for you guys?
Well, it varies, of course, by institution, as you said. There was one here that I was specifically involved in. You have this big complex called the Prison Industry Authority. Mm-hmm. And they have many different, I guess you could say, programs. Like they have in this prison, they have a bakery. They have a shoe factory here. They have like health and facility maintenance where you would learn how to do custodial work in a hospital type setting. Mm-hmm. They also have a class that I was involved in. It was a carpentry class, but the thing about the carpentry class is it comprised of you learning different things about building houses or how houses, like as far as maintenance is concerned, like plumbing and heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. So I've been able to accumulate, I think, 7 different disciplines since I've been here. Carpentry, electricity, a lot of different things, which I didn't even think I would ever take to that kind of stuff. Let alone be able to get, it seems like everywhere I've ever been, all the good programs were somewhere else. But I lucked up having to come to Donovan, and there was, a few options available for me. So they have a lot of them. I guess you could say a plethora of different things, but people just have to want to take the initiative. Even tonight they're having a sign up for one of the local colleges. I don't know where CDC's been starting this thing where they've been having like local community colleges from the county come in and start classes. So there's one that's going to come. So I think it's Southwestern College here. I'm going to go and try to sign up tonight. I'm able to. So there's a lot of good things that you can get into.
See, that's something that I notice is a lot different, over on the West Coast and the East Coast, and definitely better than federal, because you guys are getting a chance to get an education, to learn things. A lot of the prisons, especially here on the East Coast or even down south, are not geared toward rehabilitation, geared toward teaching people, and they're geared to be warehouses. So, I mean, it makes me actually happy to know that, if you come in there, you're going to come out of there with something that you can make a living with. You're not going to be walking out and working at McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, and it's a thing. Yeah, definitely.
So, you brought up the fact that they were also teaching stuff, about hospital and hospital setting as well. And I know that Jeff had mentioned that Donovan was a medical facility primarily. Do they have any type of a hospice program in there or no?
Well, there's no like actual hospice at this prison. There's other prisons where they have something very similar to that, like on the lower level facilities. Or we got one out here called the California Men's Colony, mm-hmm. and that's typically like what you consider a righteous, like maybe hospice, because they have people that go to surgery. Mm-hmm. They like go there for surgery, and they get like a little lay-in service, kind of like a hospice. But as far as this place, there's nothing on hand like that. Mm. That I guess you could say needs that kind of care, but they do have like this thing called the in-house patient program, where if you come back from surgery, you can go and they'll send you there for maybe a couple weeks to a month, while you're beginning the healing process, mm-hmm. and then slowly integrate you back into the yard where you're doing regular programs. So they do have them type of opportunities here for people that are sick.
And my understanding is a lot of people in the facility are, there are people that are sick. There are people that are, mental health issues as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I know that Jeff told me there was an incident with him that happened back in March. So, but, overall, would you say that you've grown I mean, I guess that's the proper word to use. Grown since you came to prison.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely say that. I mean, outside of just getting older, but because there's some people that they get older, but they don't mature any.
Right. That's what I was going
Like
for.
yeah, people in yeah, definitely. And I even never thought that that I would ever reach a certain point. But for me, looking outside looking in, I definitely have grown a lot, and then I don't want to say like this was kind of a blessing because it's like I mean, it definitely helped, but I guess there's other ways to go about correcting youth, or maybe people in general. I mean, look at the way Europe does their stuff. They kind of hook you up over there. But I think we have we have so many disenfranchised people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really public housing. There's not a lot of these things to like our government doesn't really have the people like, man, if you guys mess up, we got you. We're going to help you. It's there, but it's not. It's like few and far between.
Well, that's what I noticed puts a lot of people in prison is, you get out there and something happens and there is, really no help. And then you have to do something in order to survive. That's what it is. The U.S., I mean, I've seen other countries where, like you said, they actually help you, take you under, they'll take you under their wing and make you, like help you do things. Like right now, they're teaching you, a way to make a living when you get out. A lot of places don't do that. It's more like a survival of the fittest.
Yeah, it is, because just like pretty sure on the East Coast, there's a lot of benefits that are notorious for just being really bad places. But the funny thing is, even some of them places, like I'm pretty sure you've heard about all the work being done at San Quentin.
Yep.
San Quentin used to be like one of the most hardcore prisons in the world. I mean, they still have a death row population, but the majority, the rest of it is a bunch of programs and vocational classes. People are learning how to write code. It's like, so there's this other thing that's coming out besides the stigma. And I think, the more as time progresses, you're starting to see that curve, at least in California and some other states, maybe blue states as opposed to red, but,
Well, that's the other thing, too. The world, now you've been in there since you were 14 or 15?
Well, the actual incarceration started at 15.
Okay. So you've been in there for 15 and you are, you've been there you're 29 now?
Yeah, 29.
Okay. So you've been in there, for 14 years. The world's evolved out here. What do you think they've actually given you some tools in there, so some of the progression out there. What do you think some of the problems you're going to face out here are going to be adjusting?
Well, it's like I don't want to be so naive, but I really don't. I mean, this is the thing. I understand being out there. Let's say I work out tomorrow. Okay, I have a place to go, place to live. Mm-hmm. I have a couple of different job opportunities available. I think it wouldn't even be the responsibility. Like I love there's nothing wrong with responsibility. I do it here and for a lot less. So knowing that I would be working to support my life as opposed to having someone take care of me or relying on somebody, that would make me feel good. That wouldn't even be a problem for me. Like people's problems, like things that people see as problems out there that I hear like family members complain about or friends. I'm like, man, that is not a problem. At least not for me.
Right.
I understand everybody deals with their own issues, how they deal with them, but I would just think maybe just the integration of actually being free, like, because I'm expecting, I walk for a certain amount of time and I'm going to run into a fence,
right.
And I'm like, I could just keep walking, I don't got to worry about it, like, yeah, you can just keep walking, like, all right.
Well, I got to tell I could tell you there's like people that came, that have gotten out. There's a guy, he's living in California right now. He was originally from Boston. I don't know if you know who George Jung is or not, but George actually was in prison from his 20s or 30s all the way up until he got released at age, I want to say 76. And the thing is, they didn't give him any type of life skills. He didn't know how to fill out a check. He didn't know how to open a bank account, So at least you have these programs that are teaching you life skills.
Yeah.
This is the important thing. I mean, I think California it's a little bit it's a lot rougher than the East Coast, but I think it's a lot better than the East Coast as well, because they're actually, taking the time to give you the tools you need. I know that when you get out, cell phones are going to be a little obstacle, and there's different things that are out here now that weren't there when you first went in, but that's an adjustment stage. And I'm going to ask you, it sounds like you have a support system inside. Do you have a support system on the outside?
Yeah, I got,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
just to be real brief, I got my family support all the way.
That's good.
Got a lot of friends, from my childhood that are still there. I got a couple siblings out there that want me, so it's a lot of people that are rooting for me to, get the heck out of here and, start life over.
That's actually really good. We're going to get cut off. If you want, you can give me a call back in a day or two, or however,
okay,
you deem fit, and we can talk some more.
All right, that'll work.
All right. Hey, thank you, brother. Have a good night.
Okay, brother.
Bye-bye.
You too, brother. You too. Right.
Yep, bye. Thank you for listening to 15 Minutes With. I hope you've enjoyed this edition. If you have enjoyed this edition of 15 Minutes With, please hit the like and the subscribe button. You can also help me keep this show going and watch it get better by donating to paypal.me/Joe Tomaso. That address again is paypal.me/JoeTomaso. 15 Minutes With is constantly looking for new content to upload and new people to interview. If you would like to share your story, or if there's someone you would like to see us interview, please email us at insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. That email address again is insidetherazorwire@gmail.com. Last but not least, again, if you like to support this channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. Until next time, we'll be seeing you